all know the legends. Page, Hendrix, Bonham, they're carved in stone. Selling more t-shirts than half the bands on the planet today. But while everyone argues about the greatest guitarists and drummers, there's a group of musicians who shaped rock's sound just as much, and they're sitting behind the keyboards. These aren't just your typical piano players. These are the architects of atmosphere, the unsung heroes who turn simple rock songs into sonic landscapes. Today, we're diving into 13 keyboardists who changed everything, plus a bonus track that'll blow your mind. Number 13. Modern progressive rock has produced countless technical virtuosos, but one Swedish keyboardist approaches his craft like a painter building layers of color and texture. Thomas Bowden, the Flower Kings. Thomas Bowden represents everything modern progressive rock should be. While other keyboardists chase technical wizardry, Bowden crafts emotional journeys. His work with the Flower Kings spans over 2 decades, creating lush soundscapes that blend classical training with rock sensibility. Bowden builds songs layer by layer using vintage Hammonds, Mellotrons, and analog synthesizers. His 20-minute epics never feel indulgent because every note serves the song's emotional arc. What sets him apart is restraint. He knows when to step back. Number 12. Parliament-Funkadelic changed music forever. But behind all that funk madness sat a classically trained keyboardist whose innovations influenced everyone from Herbie Hancock to Red Hot Chili Peppers. Bernie Worrell, Parliament-Funkadelic. Bernie Worrell didn't just play keyboards, he invented funk keyboard playing. His Juilliard training gave him technical precision, but his work with Parliament-Funkadelic was pure street genius. Listen to Flashlight. That bass line isn't a bass guitar, it's Worrell on a mini Moog. His use of the clavinet on Up for the downstroke gave funk its percussive edge. Worrell understood rhythm as melody, creating parts that were percussion, melody, and rhythm section simultaneously. Number 11. Porcupine Tree's atmospheric approach owed everything to a keyboardist who understood that sometimes the most powerful sound is the one you barely notice. Richard Barbieri, Porcupine Tree, Japan. Richard Barbieri creates textures, not just melodies. His work with Japan pioneered synthesizers in art rock, but his later work with Porcupine Tree elevated atmospheric keyboards to an art form. Barbieri's approach is cinematic. He scores songs rather than playing them. His understanding of space means silence is as important as sound. A single sustained note can carry more emotional weight than a complex solo. Number 10. The Jeff Beck Group's fusion experiments featured a keyboardist whose jazz background brought sophistication to their rock foundation. Max Middleton, Jeff Beck Group. Max Middleton brought jazz fusion to rock keyboards before most people knew what fusion was. His work on Blow by Blow and Wired demonstrated how keyboards could match guitar virtuosity without competing for space. Middleton's playing is conversational. He responds to Beck's guitar, challenging it, compliments it. His jazz training gave him harmonic knowledge that expanded rock's vocabulary, influencing everyone from Journey's Jonathan Cain to Dream Theater's Jordan Rudess. Number 9. Dream Theater revolutionized progressive metal, but their early keyboard sound was defined by a player whose atmospheric approach balanced technical complexity with emotional depth. Kevin Moore, Dream Theater. Kevin Moore understood that progressive metal needed atmosphere, not just technical prowess. His work on Images and Words and Awake created the template for keyboards in progressive metal. Moore's strength was restraint. While bandmates explored technical extremes, he focused on serving songs. His piano work on Another Day shows classical training, while his synthesizer textures on Metropolis Part 1 demonstrate how keyboards create dramatic tension. Number 8. The Manchester scene produced several influential bands, but one keyboardist's combination of traditional rock organ and modern dance elements helped define an entire generation's sound. Clint Boon in Spiral Carpets. Clint Boon made the Hammond organ cool again in the 1990s. While other bands chased synthesizer sounds, Boon brought classic rock organ into the alternative era, creating a bridge between the 1960s and 1990s. His work on This Is How It Feels demonstrated how traditional instruments could work in modern contexts. Boon's organ playing was both retro and contemporary, driving the band's dance-influenced rock with percussive stabs and memorable hooks. Number 7. Yes went through many lineup changes, but one keyboardist's brief tenure produced some of their most adventurous music, blending classical training with rock ambition. Patrick Moraz, Yes, Moody Blues. Patrick Moraz brought European classical sensibility to British progressive rock. His work on Yes's Relayer showcased a more aggressive, percussive approach that differed dramatically from Rick Wakeman's style. Moraz's Lausanne Conservatory training gave him technical skills few rock keyboardists possessed. His composition, The Gates of Delirium, remains one of progressive rock's most ambitious pieces, demonstrating how keyboards can function as both rhythm section and lead instrument. Number 6. Toto's keyboard sound was defined by a player whose synthesizer programming and melodic sensibility helped create some of the decade's most memorable hooks. Steve Porcaro, Toto. Steve Porcaro was the synthesizer wizard behind Toto's biggest hits. His programming on Africa created one of rock's most recognizable keyboard sounds, while his work on Rosanna showed how synthesizers could enhance rather than replace traditional instruments. Porcaro understood arrangement. He layered synthesizer parts to create rich textures without cluttering the mix. His approach became the template for how keyboardists functioned in mainstream rock. Number 5. Supertramp created sophisticated pop rock built around a keyboardist whose classical training and pop sensibility influenced everyone from Genesis to Coldplay. Rick Davies, Supertramp. Rick Davies was Supertramp's musical architect. His keyboard work provided harmonic foundation and melodic hooks that made Dreamer and the Logical Song classics. His Wurlitzer electric piano gave Supertramp their distinctive sound. Both percussive and melodic, providing rhythmic drive while carrying memorable melodies. Davies understood how to make complex music accessible. Number 4. Kansas's sound was defined by a keyboardist whose dual role as vocalist and keyboardist created a unique dynamic that set them apart from British counterparts. Steve Walsh, Kansas. Steve Walsh was Kansas's secret weapon, a keyboardist who could sing lead vocals while playing complex parts. His dual role gave Kansas a unique sound among progressive rock bands. Walsh's work on Carry On Wayward Son shows his ability to create memorable melodies while providing harmonic sophistication. His creativity allowed complex arrangements that served songs rather than showing off technical skills. Number 3. Kansas had another keyboard genius whose compositional skills and guitar keyboard combinations created some of progressive rock's most innovative music. Gary Livgren, Kansas. Gary Livgren was Kansas's primary composer and a multi-instrumentalist whose keyboard work complemented his guitar lines. His ability to craft complex compositions that remained accessible helped make Kansas one of America's most successful progressive rock bands. A true double threat, Livgren sometimes played keyboard and guitar simultaneously. Creating a dynamic interplay that became a hallmark of the band's sound. He proved that American bands could produce music as sophisticated as their British counterparts. Number 2. Deep Purple, Rainbow, and Ozzy's solo band all benefited from the same keyboardist, whose classical training made him one of hard rock's most versatile players. Don Airey, Deep Purple, Rainbow, Ozzy Osbourne. Don Airey has been the secret weapon behind hard rock's biggest names for 4 decades. His London College of Music training gave him technical skills few rock keyboardists possess. Airey's work with Rainbow on Rising demonstrated how keyboards could enhance heavy rock without softening impact. When John Lord left Deep Purple, Airey was the obvious replacement, honoring Lord's legacy while bringing his own personality. Number 1. The Rolling Stones, The Who, The Kinks, the biggest names in British rock, all used the same session keyboardist, whose contributions were so essential that many classic songs wouldn't exist without him. Nicky Hopkins, The Rolling Stones, The Who, The Kinks. Nicky Hopkins was rock's greatest session keyboardist, the man behind piano on more classic songs than any other player. His work appears on Angie, She's a Rainbow, Getting By, and dozens of other classics. Hopkins brought classical training to rock when most musicians were self-taught. His ability to create memorable piano parts that enhanced songs without overwhelming them made him the most in-demand session player of the 1960s and 1970s. We promised you a bonus, and here's why this one's special. Most casual rock fans know this name as the producer behind U2's biggest albums and David Bowie's Berlin Trilogy. But before he became rock's most famous knob twirler, He was revolutionizing what keyboards could do in rock music. Brian Eno, Roxy Music. Brian Eno didn't just play keyboards, he invented new ways to use them. His work with Roxy Music introduced tape loops, synthesizer treatments, and ambient textures that influenced everyone from David Bowie to Radiohead. Eno used keyboards as sound sources rather than traditional instruments. Creating atmospheres never heard before. His departure from Roxy Music led to his legendary production career, but his performing legacy remains just as important, proving keyboards could be conceptual art, not just accompaniment. These 13 keyboardists shaped rock music in ways most people never realize. They proved keyboards aren't just support, they're essential. Which of these keyboard masters surprised you the most?